In the previous video, we looked at 15 celebrities that went on from rags to riches. These celebrities have inspired us and continue breaking new grounds, showing what's possible with a positive attitude and hard work. In this second set of the video, we're going to look at 15 more celebrities that have similar paths. They went from absolute poverty and now have millions in the bank. But before you continue, make sure you click the bell icon so that you get notified when we post new content. Mila Kunis has publicly vowed that she and her husband, fellow actor and A-lister Ashna Kutcher, will not raise entitled children. The reason? Because she grew up poor. An immigrant born in Ukraine, Kunis' father fled to America as the Soviet Union collapsed. In a 2016 interview with the Daily Mail, Kunis recalled eating ketchup soup as a kid when food was scarce. And in a 2012 interview with Metro UK, Kunis insisted that she acted her way out of poverty, starting with a starring role on That 70s Show alongside Kutcher when she was just 14 years old. She now has a net worth of over $75 million, making her one of the wealthiest celebrity immigrants. Arguably one of the biggest and richest names in country music, Dolly Parton has a net worth of over $600 million. However, this wasn't always the case. Parton grew up in poverty. In fact, one of her best-known songs is Coat of Many Colors, which chronicles her early life as one of 12 siblings in the rural mountains of eastern Tennessee. Appalachian poverty forced Parton to grow up in a house without running water, gas, or electricity. She and her siblings slept on beds made of straw. However, by the age of 12, Parton appeared on local television, and the rest, as they say, is history. Parton's achievements include 8 Grammy Awards, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, a Country Music Association Lifetime Award, and more. Born in England, J.K. Rowling was raising a daughter with the help of public assistance when she wrote Harry Potter in 1994. Reflecting on life before the literary superstardom, Rowling said in a 2013 interview with Daily Mail that she was as poor as it's possible to be. In 2017, Rowling earned over $95 million, which gave her the title of the world's highest paid author and third highest paid celebrity across all categories in the world. That's a step down from 2018 when she shocked the world by pulling in $300 million in 1 year. Today, she has a net worth of over $1 billion thanks to the $25 billion Harry Potter franchise. Fashion icon Ralph Lauren has a net worth of over $7 billion and retains control over the Ralph Lauren brand that is worth over $8.2 billion. And his car collection is believed to be the most expensive in the world. Lauren was born Ralph Lifshitz, the Bronx-born son of Russian Jewish immigrants. He changed his name because of the relentless bullying he believed his name attracted. He traces his creativity to his early fascination with movies, which served as the only escape from his family's poverty. Eminem's nearly 20-year career has stoked controversy, endeared legions of fans, outraged an equal number of critics, bridged racial divides, and earned the rapper a net worth of over $230 million. With more than 14 million units sold, the Marshall Mathers LP 1 and 2 is history's best-selling rap album collection, with the first album alone selling more units than the next 9 best-selling collections. Eminem is a self-made man. Born Marshall Bruce Mathers III, he was raised in the poor and racially charged area along 8 Mile Road, Detroit's symbolic poverty dividing line. "I will change schools 2-3 times a year," the rapper told Anderson Cooper in a 2011 interview, while reflecting on how his unstable home life affected his education. "I got beat up in the bathroom, beat up in the hallway, shoved into lockers, for the most part just for being the new kid." Eminem dropped out of school in the 9th grade. Leonardo DiCaprio portrayed a poor vagabond in Titanic and a master of the financial universe in The Wolf of Wall Street. In real life, he's lived both sides of the coin. The highest paid male Oscar nominee in 2006, DiCaprio has a net worth of over $260 million. In 2014, DiCaprio reminisced to the Los Angeles Times about growing up in a seedy LA neighborhood that was home to open-air drug and prostitution markets. He traces his love of acting to surviving a beating on his first day of public school after winning a scholarship for a private elementary school. Of his success, he told The Times, "It goes back to the neighborhood. It came from the fact that I grew up very poor and I got to see the other side of the spectrum." On the list of the top earning hip-hop stars in 2017, Jay-Z came in second to Diddy. However, in the next 3 years, he surpassed Diddy. With a net worth of over $1 billion, Sean Jay-Z Carter has crept into the sport of the billionaires club. His empire is not just about music, but also clothing, sports gear, spirits, and several tech startups. His startup portfolio includes a music platform recently valued at 10 times what he paid for in just 2 years. The music platform? Tidal. That financial success pushed Jay-Z past Dr. Dre in the world's of rap's wealthiest players. Jay-Z rhymes, which often depict life on the mean streets of the inner city, are frequently autobiographical. Raised in a Brooklyn public housing project, Jay-Z admitted in a 2013 Vanity Fair interview that he sold crack to escape the trap of poverty. He admitted to feeling guilty later. However, at the time, he was just trying to survive. "I was thinking about surviving," he said. "I was thinking about improving my situation. I was thinking about buying clothes." Sarah Jessica Parker once described her childhood as Dickensian. She recalled in a 2000 interview with the New York Times what life was like growing up on welfare and suffering the daily humiliation and stigma associated with receiving free lunch at school and basic utilities being turned off in her family's home. "I remember being poor. There was no great way to hide it. We didn't have electricity sometimes. We didn't have Christmases sometimes, or we didn't have birthdays sometimes, or the bill collectors came, or the phone company would call and say, 'We are shutting you off,'" she said during an interview. A star of both the big and small screens, the Sex and the City celebrity managed to escape her past. Parker now has a net worth of over $200 million. Big man Mike "Iron" Tyson made history in 1986, and he will go on to become one of the world's most feared fighters. In that year, he was crowned the youngest heavyweight champion in sports history. Although Mike Tyson's life unraveled after losing the belt 4 years later, he rebounded and is now worth over $10 million. Tyson not only fought his way to superstardom, but also his way out of crushing poverty. Like so many poor kids before him, Tyson turned to boxing as an escape from the crime, violence, and dysfunction that surrounded his life in Brownsville, Brooklyn. That is until he was discovered and adopted by the legendary trainer Cass D'Amato. In a 2015 interview with the Hudson Union Society, Tyson reflected on the realities of his poverty-stricken neighborhood. "Nobody was above killing anyone there. It was poverty-stricken, drug-infested, gang-infested. I got involved with the negative entities there. I had been arrested about 40 times by the time I was 12 years old." Canadian singer Celine Dion remains relevant today with a career that has spanned decades. She earned $42 million in 2017, mostly from a Las Vegas artist residency that has netted her over $350 million since it debuted in 2003. The global superstar's net worth is estimated to be about $800 million. One of 14 children in a poor Quebec family, Dion started out singing in her parents' bar. While still a minor, she was discovered by a famed French-speaking singer, and as they say, the rest is history. In a 2009 interview with Parade, Shia LaBeouf openly discussed growing up with his starving artist parents who were too poor to pull the family out of poverty. LaBeouf sought escape and money by starting a stand-up comedy career at 10 years old, which put him on the path to stardom. During an interview, he said, "My dad and my mom were both artists who never found an audience for their artwork. And so, I lived in poverty. Now that I'm not poor, I know that it was what it was. As Hemingway said, you can't write anything if you've never been shot at or have been gored at by a bull, you know? So I look back at that stuff and I'm grateful. It's like scars, you become proud of them." To date, LaBeouf movies have earned more than $5 billion worldwide, garnering him a net worth of over $25 million. Two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank has won Academy Awards for her roles in $1 Million Baby and Boys Don't Cry. Her career, which dates back to television appearance in the early 1990s, has earned her a net worth of over $60 million. However, Swank grew up in a trailer park in Washington State, where her family suffered from poverty and financial insecurity. Her experiences have shaped her career, which has included portrayals of women struggling with poverty and stigmatization. In a 2011 interview with the Daily Mail, Swank explained that poverty could breed resourcefulness. Growing up in a lower-income family, you don't have the resources to make ends meet, and you have to find creative ways to get by. That infuses your character with a lot of drive and determination, she said. Jenny from the Block is another celebrity who has a history of going from rags to riches. One of her most famous lyrics, "I used to have a little, now I have a lot," which is from Jenny from the Block, talks about her life. A dancer, pop star, actress and model, Lopez was born to struggling Puerto Rican parents in the tough Castle Hill section of the Bronx. According to a 2013 interview with Daily Mail, watching her parents struggle instilled in Lopez the value of hard work. During the interview, she said, "I watched my parents. My dad worked nights and I was aware of how much he was doing for us. My mom was a Tupperware lady and also worked at the school. I also felt that I couldn't let them down, and I had a natural discipline from early on. I was always training for something." After studying dance at an early age, she got her big break as a fly girl dancer on the Fox hit In Living Color. Her net worth currently stands at over $400 million. One of the richest women in country music, Miranda Lambert, earned $18 million in 2016 alone, which is $10 million less than what she earned the year before. Lambert's notoriously frenzied touring schedule has earned her a net worth of over $60 million. However, Lambert comes from humble roots. Her parents' business was a casualty of the 1980s Texas oil bust, and Lambert was briefly left homeless during her childhood until she moved in with her uncle. Nonetheless, the experience taught her self-reliance. During an interview with Country Funcast, Lambert said, "I learned how to do chores because you have to carry your weight." Few actors have ascended higher on Hollywood's A-list than Tom Cruise, whose movies have earned nearly $9.2 billion worldwide. From Rain Man and Top Guns to Risky Business and the Mission Impossible franchise, Cruise's blockbuster career has earned him a net worth of over $600 million. However, while Cruise has enjoyed financial success in his adult years, he grew up very poor in a dysfunctional household where he has described being tormented by a violent, abusive father. His mother left with nothing to get away from his father when Cruise was 12 years old. It's impossible to discuss any rags to riches stories involving celebrities if you don't mention Oprah Winfrey. Arguably the most recognizable woman in the world, Oprah boasts of a net worth of over $3.5 billion and is the status of an entrepreneur who changed daytime television forever. She has launched countless careers and endeared herself to millions of adoring fans. Despite such huge achievements, Oprah grew up in severe poverty in rural Mississippi. Raised without indoor plumbing, she suffered physical and sexual violence until she began working for a local radio station after high school, a job that launched her passion for media. There we go. Those are the 30 celebrities who went from rags to riches. This just goes on to prove that your current situation is not your future situation. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get notified when you post new content.